Okay, so as I said, a good warm up of the big toe. So, as I said, I start off and I just warm up my toe. I warm up my feet as well. Don't be afraid to just get in there and touch your feet. Move the toes around. You stay in shoes all day long that are very restrictive and straining. And you know, they're happy toes. They're happy to get out of the shoes. So give it good movement. Just get it moving. Up, down, up, down, up, down. Now, are you going to be sore tomorrow? Very good chance you will be. That's nothing to worry about. Just like any joint of the body, when you go to the gym and work your joints out, you ache the next day. So nice movement. So this isn't hurting me. Now I know, depending on where your bunion is, you know, is it a 9 out of 10 for severity, or 4 out of 10, or 1 out of 10? I wouldn't be able to do this with everybody. You can see that this joint on me, there's no problem moving it at all. It's quite mobile. So I use that as a bit of an anchor. And I just get it moving. I also use my thumb and index finger as like pincers, like a pincer grip, along that buniony joint, that big toe joint and the metatarsal joint. I grab onto those and I move them almost in opposite directions. Up, down, no pain there at all. Then I start doing some circles. Again, grab a good hold of that joint. Don't be afraid to get right in there. You may hear it cracking and grinding. So I can feel that now. It's probably less than a 1 out of 10 for discomfort. But I have a pretty good pain threshold, I suppose, because I exercise regularly. I'm used to moving my body. But don't be afraid if you haven't. It's always a good time to start. So you'll notice probably that my joint will be pretty red when I finish as well. Red means, you know, increased blood flow. Again, don't be afraid of that. So again, some up, down. You may notice you start to get an improved movement as well. Like I've got maybe slightly more flexion in there than I had. To be expected. Again, it's like stretching a hamstring. If you stretch your hamstring every day, you'll eventually touch your toes. You've put more flexibility in. So it depends how rigid this joint has become. So I do some good movements there. I even do a little traction, kind of pulling out on the toe. Up, down, up, down, up, down. You might get a big clunk or a big crack. Don't be afraid. It's fine. And again, get in there, get under the arch. Get some life back into the toes. Move all of the toes. You know, don't be so dainty with your feet. They go through a lot. Now, if the volume was better on this, you'd actually hear some grinding now. So I'm really taking it to its full range. There's a little crack. There's another one. That's just gas, by the way. Releasing from the joint. It may even be a little flicking of ligaments and tendons, that sort of thing. I get right in there. And I go back and forth now. You'll see it moves easily that way in the direction of the bunion, but not so much here. I'm right in there now. So I'm actually moving this one into straightening. And I'm using my bunion actually as an anchor with my thumb. Now I like to hold my foot firmly. Now this one you need to be careful of because you might be a bit sore in there. It's just a bit sore on me, but for somebody with a bunion that's a little worse, it's going to be sore. It's a good sore, like you feel like good, something's being done in there. This is what I would carry on doing for a good 5 minutes. Now I'm definitely getting more flexion in here. That toe's definitely lifting up. Now because I'm such a health nut and an optimist, I personally believe that I'll improve my bunion over time, but it's going to take a long time. It's taken 43 years to get this way. Good circles in there, and remember, straightening it, bending, straightening, bending. And one's holding the hallux, the big toe, the other's holding the joint where the metatarsal bone is, kind of moving them opposite to one another. The idea is that you can grind out some of the wear in there. There may be some bony spurring in there. The idea is perhaps over time we can grind some of that. Now it's definitely creaking and grinding a lot, my toe now. And it's definitely moving a heck of a lot better. And the very last thing that I do is I've trained my toe to start working back to a straight position. So from bent to straight. Now it doesn't do it very well, and when I began, let me tell you, I couldn't move that toe at all. So I actually practice moving it to the left, away from my other toes. Now it doesn't do a great job of it, so I often encourage it. Sometimes I even pull it with my other toe. I encourage it, and then I do a few on my own. Just like that. So anyway, thanks for watching. I hope that's been helpful, and I'd love to hear from some of you. Please leave some feedback for me. And get out there, treat your bunions naturally. Thanks.